to y'all barbers that y'all don't need it, because you do. That's where y'all money in. It's like a hidden compartment. And barbers back in the days were the first hair colors before hairstylists. Barbers did colors first. When it was when they were doing the beards, mustache. When they were doing relaxers and perms and everything first. It's merging. Y'all doing colors, y'all doing scalp treatments, facials, everything, you know. Every hairstylist is gonna tell you something different. Every hairstylist, an auburn might not be an auburn. What someone else considers an auburn might not be auburn to me. That's one of the biggest colors so that's why you have to know the levels. If somebody comes to you and say, well, I want to be a honey blonde. In a professional world, there's no such thing as honey blonde. There's no such thing. But you have to know with your formulation, you got to know levels and tones. And when they show you a picture and you get as close to that, when you're thinking levels and tones, you don't think names. So once you become a professional, walking into a beauty supply and pulling the color off the shelf and saying, this is what I want, and let me pour this on your head to get it, that no longer exists. Because those same people who do that are the same people that's going to start coming to you, so you can tell them how to fix. Also, you can fix what they messed up. I'm going to tell y'all, so I have ADHD. I jump from subject to subject, but I come back. If I do that, y'all just bring me back. I have ADHD bad. Not ever want to do in the professional world is not give a person, not be totally clear with them. First of all, do your consultation. Analyze the scalp, analyze the hair. Don't be afraid to say no. When it comes to color, do not be afraid to say no. Because when you say no, and if it's no in your professional judgment, they go out there and they get somebody else to do it, they're coming back. And guess what that does? Up your ticket. Up your ticket. Everything is about, not saying just about taking people money, but educating yourself so you know, so you can charge with your work. It's not about what the next person is doing and charging. It's about charging with your work. Because when you know color, that's a tool that you can have in your arsenal that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people fake and pretend to know color because they know it's a big money ticket. But a lot of people are afraid to take color classes because if you're a hairstylist that's been in the business maybe 15, 5, 10, or you think that's you good at what you do, a lot of times they don't want to stop. They don't want to take classes. So that's why I'm like, if y'all don't do anything else, never stop educating yourself. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with the color wheel, because like I said, without the color wheel you can't do anything. You don't even understand color. Just like we'll tell you everything. You can answer every question from your color wheel. You can do corrective coloring from your color wheel. If you're doing bleaching services, have your color wheel, because it'll tell you. It takes the guesswork out of it. Every time I do a class, I do a color wheel in every single color class that I have. And after the class, I have people that message me on Instagram, or they'll text me and be like, man, you're right, I really needed it. I didn't notice that I couldn't do color without knowing the color wheel. These are your primary colors. With these colors, you can make everything. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit in your bowl, and then you're gonna do start off with the primary. Space in between, you guys. Leave a space in between because you're gonna need that for your secondary color. In the triangle, color in the triangle. And you don't have to go all the way to the top because you can like write it. If you want to go to the top, you can. If you don't have to. And it's not rocket science, y'all. Just have fun with it. I like to just have fun with it and get your hands dirty. Because I'm a visual learner. If I don't actually touch it and get my hands in it and feel it and to see it, it kind of don't make sense to me. Blonde. When you want platinum, you have to go level 10. You know, you have.
So in other words, they screw him up.
And this chart right here, it shows you the different levels of color. Like I keep this with me everywhere I go. Black being number 1, number 2 is the natural black, number 3 is the darkest brown, 4 is dark brown, 5 medium brown, 6 light brown, 7 dark blonde. So you start getting into your blondes at level 7. Level 8 is a medium blonde. Level 9, light blonde. 10 is where you always want to be when you're doing blonding. 11 just came into play when people started going on platinum and doing platinum. So that's when I've even seen sometimes where they have 12. Even at level 4 to 1, people will always be like, oh, I'm black, I have black hair. So you can't just take their word for it. I always do a level. I always check levels when I'm doing people hair color. Because people will swear up and down they have black hair. And a lot of people don't naturally have black hair.
How you check the levels in?
I use my color swatch to check levels. These are your naturals or neutrals, or usually where people are starting. Even if they have artificial color in their hair, which means like semi-permanent, but if they put a color in their hair or whether it's their natural color, I'll take off my swatch and I'll hold it up to their hair to see. And sometimes I take them outside because sometimes the inside light is not the best light. So I do a lot of like color consultations outside in the natural light. Most of the time, you're not gonna get the color you want. If you're starting from scratch on darker color hair, like with Lindsay here, I can take Lindsay natural color level 7. She's like the perfect candidate for blondes. I see people with level 7 here, I'm like, let's go, let's do it. Because I know I'm gonna get the results I want because she's starting at a level 7. Level 7, this is level 7. It's a dark blonde. It's already blonde, so I don't have to, I can get her platinum in one day, safely, in one day. Versus if somebody's starting at a level 1, which is black. The underlying pigment you'll see when you bleach it. Like when you bleach it, the color that comes up, that's the underlying pigment. So once you get to the underlying pigment, a lot of people freak out and they be like, let me put more bleach, let me put more bleach. Putting more bleach is not the answer. It's not always the answer. Sometimes some people can take a double process. But most times, you have to use your color wheel and know. And you talk to your client, you're like, hey, I can safely keep you at a level 6 or 7. Let's just say 7 because it has orange and 7. I can keep you at a 7 for now. So you can maintain the integrity of your hair. So when you lift, the next most important thing when you lifting with bleach is when you get to the level that where you stop, if you stop at a level 7, you have to tone at a level 7. Yeah, I'm a level 7, but this is the color I want. You can't go from a 7 to a 10 in tone, right? So level 7 is your tone, the color that you're gonna put back into the hair is the tone. Starting level is where you start with, whether it's color you put in there or natural color, right? Y'all got that? Y'all saying yeah? It's fine. I know it sounds a little complicated, but when y'all start doing it, it'll be okay. Like practice on your mannequins and like, I ran through mannequins. Like I still do. I still play with mannequins. I still I will balayage every mannequin I have. This happens all the time, especially when people try to dye their hair black on their own. A lot of the store-bought colors and box colors have metallics in them. And a lot of those metallic colors pull up green. The underlying pigment in is green. So when you put bleach on top of most of these blacks that they have, the black colors they have, it's gonna come up, that underlying pigment is gonna be green. So if you get in a situation where you have a client that comes in and you put bleach on their hair and you see that green, what are you gonna neutralize that color with? Red.
Or the opposite?
It's always the opposite. It's always opposite. And when you're dealing with your primary and secondary colors, sometimes people pull up color and they have 2 different tones. So guess what? You have to use 2 different neutralizers to neutralize both those colors. Some colors are real advanced these days. So you'll have a 7, level 7, and it already have blue in it. So you have a 7B. So that's easy. Sometimes you have to add an additive in it, which is the color that you're putting into it. I'm gonna give him a level 3. Most people that think they have black hair are at a level 3. If this was a newer swatch, it would blend in like perfectly, like with his hair, right? So to the regular naked eye, you're like, oh, he's black. It's black hair.
But you wouldn't get that as a surface.
No. This is where we're showing. So when you do a color consultation, you need to find out where they're starting. So this is where he's starting. So with your color consultation, like all the time, even if I feel like I know what somebody's starting level is, I always pull out my color swatch and be like, let me just make sure that they're starting at a level 3. Okay, let's say he's a level 3. And then I'm like, okay, well, what color do you want to be? He's natural. He doesn't have any color on his hair. So I'm like, well, where do you want to be?
Let's say he wants to go with that red pink in the back.
Where?
Super pink. How would you do that one?
Which one's super
On
pink?
top.
The red?
Yeah, it's like reddish.
Right here?
Yes.
The 8RV?
Yeah.
So definitely. So because color only go like, okay, your developers. You have 10, 20, 30, 40. Normally. They have 5s and 7s in between. But just, let's go textbook. You have 10, 20, 30, 40 volume developers, right? Mm-hmm. So your 10 volume developer, it'll give you up to 1 level of lift or deposit or putting color in. That's what you usually do your toning with, your 10 volume, because you're depositing color. Or you're going 1 level up. Your 20 volume gives you 2 levels of lift. Your 30 volume up to 3 levels of lift, 40 volume up to 4 levels of lift, right? So if we started him at a 3, he's at a 3, right?
Yes,
And you're saying this is an 8.
yes.
So how many levels is that?
5.
Right. So there's no 50. Well, it's 50 volume, but it's not safe, typically safe to use, right?
Okay.
So if he wants the vibrancy of this color, I would definitely bleach his hair. Because with just the color, what it's gonna do is, it might only take him up to 3 levels. So when I'm dealing with naturally dark hair, if I'm not doing a brown, I can do color on his hair to get a brown. But if I want something with like a pow, vivid, bright, I always use bleach. Especially on darker hair. Something to like really show you bleach the hair.
But is it wrong to bleach just to be on the safe side? You just bleach everything that it
No,
will
you
take
don't
the
have
color?
to. You don't have to bleach everything. But say for instance, like my
But if
clients
you do,
who-
would it be wrong?
No, you just have to know what you're doing.
Okay.
It's ways to do everything correctly. I use bond builders. No matter what, I don't care if the hair is healthy. I'm using a bond builder. I use bond repair shampoos. I use bond rebuilders. I use like I put it inside my color. I do everything to prep the hair before I actually put bleach on it. I never just go straight in and just put bleach on it.
Okay. And when you're doing like weave, do you follow the same procedure or is it different? Since it's not actually on the person's head.
Yes, I do, because people spend money on weave. They spend lots of money, and they're buying. If you're buying human hair, I'm gonna treat it as your human hair, and I charge the same thing as human hair, as if I was coloring human hair. So I tried to like recap a little bit before like going over. So did you guys feel like you actually walking away with more than you came in with? Good. That's
Okay,
good.
so I'm gonna ask you guys to do me a big favor, all right? If y'all would please do it. If you guys would go to her, I'll put it in the group chat, all right? Her Google review. If you guys could do a Google review for her,
Thank you.
and I'll post it in the group chat and just talk about your experience real briefly. I'm sure she would appreciate it.
I would greatly appreciate it.
One star.